about foreign policy, Ukraine is an issue where the Republican Party is divided. You are one of the candidates who does not support U.S. funding Ukraine in its war with Russia. You've talked about negotiating a deal with Putin that you believe would lead to peace and help cut off the Russia-China relations that you believe are dangerous.
Yes.
But you're also a student of history, which means you've seen historically what happens when you appease strong men. Why do you believe that wouldn't have consequences for global security this time around?
So there's no appeasement at issue here. I want to be very clear about that. The deal that I would do would be a deal that allows Ukraine to come out with its sovereignty intact, which I think there's a very good chance the current trajectory will not lead to right now. Russia has more national interests at stake here than does the U.S. or even much of the rest of NATO. So I think that that's a good outcome for Ukraine to at least have its sovereignty intact. And speaking of history, I am a student of history. I believe that Nixon did the right thing in 1972 when he reopened relations with China to pull Mao Zedong out of the clasp of Brezhnev-led USSR back then. Not because we trusted Mao, not because we were placating or supplicating to Mao, but because we were realists. We understood that the China-Russia alliance then was a real threat to the United States when the USSR was our adversary. I view Putin as the new Mao. The Russia-China alliance now still outmatches the United States, except the CCP is our true adversary like the USSR was in the last century. So if we have an opportunity to pull apart two strongmen dictators, one of whom in particular is hostile to the United States, Xi Jinping, on whom we depend for our modern way of life, then yes, I'll do it. And so to that end, my foreign policy's, back to clarity, pretty clear. Avoid World War III. The number one way we do that is pull Russia apart from China. Declare economic independence from China. I believe that's achievable, and we have and will continue to offer clarity in some upcoming speeches on exactly how we will do that in a way that still leaves America economically strong at home. And then third, secure our own homeland defenses. It's been a long time since our national defense spending has focused on defending the American homeland itself. Nuclear missile defense systems, totally missing. Cyber and super electromagnetic pulse, EMP defense systems, totally missing. Space-based defense systems, totally absent. Border defense systems that are utterly lacking, evidenced by the number of people crossing our borders illegally daily. That's where my focus is. And it's a very clear vision of our foreign policy that's different from the establishment neoconservative view in the Republican Party, and also different from the new model of liberal hegemony embraced by much of the Democratic Party.